Alright guys, we're back at another anime expo. We're here with Lil Richie. Yeah. I didn't record any intro on the first day, so this is the second day now. The footage is just gonna cut back and forth. It's fine. Anyways, bye.
This past weekend, I went to Anime Expo Chibi with a couple of friends, and I'd like to compare it to the anime conventions I've been to so far. So to be clear, I did go to Anime Expo proper earlier this year, and I also went to Anime Central in Chicago. Those two blow this one out of the water. I mean, I'm not sure what I was expecting. AX Chibi featured no panels, no announcements or premieres of any kind. It was pretty much just an opportunity to meet up with your friends, cosplay, and buy anime merch. Yep, pretty much the entire con was Artist Alley, the exhibition hall, and the night market, which was like 5 food trucks in one stage with music playing. There was also the 21 lounge, but I am not 21. The most disappointing aspect of the entire event was easily the night market. Beyond the musical artists and acts they had to perform it had no right to be calling itself a night market. There was also a retro gaming room and an arcade, which were both pretty cool, but it was pretty hard to get onto any of the arcade machines or on any of the consoles. The Artist Alley this time wasn't as large as AX, but there were still some very cool artists on display. Honestly, I wish I could have gotten more than I did there. The place I spent the most time in, however, was the exhibition hall. I must have walked through the entire thing like 10 times by the second day, and it got old a little fast. One of the main things I was looking for going into this was manga, and well, there was some. Almost every space that had it either had it overpriced or sealed and being sold for above retail. Honestly, it was very disappointing, and it narrowed my search for things by a lot. The fun of looking for manga is I can buy things I've never heard of so long as it's volume 1 and I'm good. But for things like anime figures or just general merch, I had to have seen the show or manga before I could buy it. Another thing that slightly annoyed me was the 3 giant sections with the exact same foam and wooden guns and swords and all at similar prices. This would have been fine at a larger convention like Anime Expo, but with the reduced floor space, they take up way more space than they normally would. By far my favorite part of the entire convention was the manga lounge. I didn't get any footage as recording was prohibited, but it gave me a weird sort of nostalgia. Back in middle school, I used to read a fair bit of manga in the library, and something about the feeling of being in a quiet environment just to read, but you also have a time limit kind of got to me a bit. And not that you couldn't be in there for as long as you want, I just showed up the last 2 hours of the convention. For those of you wondering, by the way, I read the first 2 volumes of Sailor Moon, and they're just so much better than the anime. I think I'll touch on that in a future video. So exactly what's the value of this expo besides seeing porn stars at a sticker booth? Well, honestly, it's all about spending time with your friends, which didn't really apply to me. I came with friends, but I didn't spend a ton of time with them, so I guess that's probably on me in the end. Here's my little haul for the end of the video. Starting off, we got a Japanese copy of Pokemon Red for pretty cheap, but it has a dead save battery, so we'll have to deal with that. In the same vein, I also got Pokemon Blue version that had its save battery already replaced. I got 2 figures, one Nino figure from Quintessential Quintuplets and one Ruka figure from Rent a Girlfriend that was broken before I even opened it. I mean, it's not like a manufacturing thing, it was lazily glued back together at some point, and even her sock piece connecting the leg to the foot was missing. Rip-offs aside, I also picked up some art from some of my friends. Link to their stuff will be in the description. What did I think of Anime Expo Chibi? Honestly, I couldn't help but thinking I wished it was a full event the whole time, but hey, with the cheaper ticket and only being 2 days long, I suppose it wasn't a waste of time or anything. If anything, it's gotten me more into Sailor Moon, and that can only be a good thing.